just reporting, there are many of the emails that are now out there. But as reporters kind of sift through this document, what's the most important takeaway from all of it? Let's ask a man who spent the better part of last night determining what was in there. Good morning to Brett Baer, anchor of Special Report on FNC. Brett, what really stood out to you in these?
Hey, Martha. What really stood out to me was what Jay Carney said from the White House podium, what Hillary Clinton said in congressional testimony, and what was in these emails. It's direct contrast to numerous things that Carney has said from the podium. Let's take, for example, this. November 28th, 2012, asked about the edits and what was changed in the talking points. Carney says this, quote, "The White House and the State Department have made clear that the single adjustment that was made to those talking points by either of those two institutions were changing the word consulate to diplomatic facility because the word consulate was inaccurate." Well, in an email sent at 9:15 p.m. on September 14th from an official at the CIA to another official inside the agency, they described the process this way, quote, "The State Department had major reservations with much or most of the document. We revised the document with their concerns in mind." It also goes on to show the interaction between Jake Sullivan, the Deputy Chief of Staff for Hillary Clinton at the State Department, and Tommy Vitor, the spokesperson for National Security Council, saying they'll make those edits at the deputies' meeting the following day. As you follow the process, you know, a lot of people say that this email thing is process and it's a lot about semantics. But it really is how the administration described this. We know there's a lot more to this, and we've talked about that, the security beforehand and the military response during it. But how the administration has described this part of it is detailed in these emails.
Yeah, it clearly is. And it clearly, you just keep going back to the big picture, because I think there is an effort to sort of flood out some of this information and to get folks to say, well, there it is. You know, they released it. People have been after to release it for some time. It doesn't change the fact that, as you clearly point out, there was an effort to make it appear that we didn't know that the security situation on the ground was very volatile and that there was quite a bit to be concerned about, and that the calls from Ambassador Stevens for more security and more help went unanswered. That is a basic fact that continues to be substantiated by these emails, right?
That's the key, is that the State Department didn't want Congress to be hitting them over the head with the fact that the CIA had told them numerous times that there had been all of these attacks on the ground and that the situation was dangerous on the ground in Benghazi, that they had had the warnings before. So the State Department essentially is saying, we don't want Congress to have this baton to hit us over the head, not in so many words, with these warnings that the CIA had had. I just want to point out one more thing about Hillary Clinton in her testimony. She says in her testimony on Capitol Hill, it was an intelligence product about the talking points. The intelligence community was the principal decider about what went into the talking points, is her testimony up on Capitol Hill. Well, in those emails, it is clear that her State Department is very much involved. And at one point, Victoria Nuland, her spokesperson, says that the leadership in my building is not satisfied with the edits that have been made. And this is as Al-Qaeda is taken out, as Ansar al-Sharia is taken out. You know, the question is, who's the leadership and where does that go? Yeah, I
mean, it's very telling, Brett, that, you know, it may have started out as an intelligence product, but it ended up being an intelligence product that even Petraeus, the head of the CIA, said he didn't want to use because it was so toothless by the time it got to those Sunday programs. So there's a lot here. Brett, well, we know you'll be covering it extensively tonight. Thank you so much. Good to talk to you this morning.